The work we do here is the work of man. It's man's work. And I want you to know that I try to do the work and will of our Father. As an imperfect being, I cannot say for sure if that work was done in a perfect manner. But whether you agree with how or the impact of that work, I pray that it will not break our bonds of affection. I also pray and have faith that if it was not perfect, that the Almighty God will perfect it at that imperfect work for the good as He has promised. So therefore, with the love of my Father, I say to each and every one of you, as you've heard before, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face to shine upon you. And the Lord turn His face toward each and every one of you and give you peace. I love you so much, and I thank you so much for coming. God bless you.
And I prayed on this one, and like I said, I'm proud of it. You know, what I do is for the best interests of the entire city. Jesus fed the multitude with loaves of bread and fish. It's up to us to take care of the multitude. Okay, and that's what my objective is. There is a problem with the prostitution on 146. It starts at Popeye's Chicken and it works all the way down to 144. I see it. All my residents see it. We talk about it. We want something done about it. There was one more thing. Oh yeah, I'm having a town hall meeting at First Pentecostal Church, October 7th. It's going to be from 10 o'clock in the morning until 12 o'clock. And we're going to, and if any residents of the 6th Ward.
What date, Alderman?
That's Saturday morning.
Which Saturday?
The first Saturday. Okay. If any residents of the 6th Ward needs a trash receptacle, please don't hesitate to contact me because I can get you one. I have developed some relationships with the people over at Republic, and they will deliver them out to your house. And one more thing, it was at the last city council meeting when my resident, Mr. Melville King, got up and talked about the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. And I was so taken and I was just so hurt because this is one of the entry points into our great city. I got on my little lawnmower and I went over there the next day. It was September the 2nd. And I cut that grass. And the grass was so tall, it looked worse after I cut it because of the shrub, you know, and I got a little bitty lawnmower, but I wanted to try to make it look something because of the veterans, for one, and we appreciate their service and everything they did for this country. After I got done weed whacking and looking at it, I went back and stood and I said, man, this is terrible. And the holiday was coming up next. And I got a hold of Mr. Chapman and Mr. Brown, and I begged them to come over there. And an hour later, they had came back and cleaned up what I had called made an attempt to cut it. And it looked good for the holiday.
Investigating yourself. It won't take much. We got social media on us. We talk about all the properties that's owned in here. Learn why we don't have property. Come to some of these board meetings. If the mayor to some of these board meetings, he could tell you why we don't own some of these properties. It's on the website of city-owned properties. If you guys are not aware of that, those are the ones we own. It is a long process. Some of us may not know that. And I know it's a lot of real estate gurus in this audience that should know how to do all of that and can advise you on how that's really done. So again, make sure you get your information before you run off the stores. Okay, thank you guys, have a great night.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to piggyback on Alderman Chapman to thank all the people that came out here tonight and expressed their opinion. You just don't realize how strong their voice is. There's still one thing that I want to bring to people's attention is that every council meeting that I come to, I don't see any youth out here. We got people eligible to vote, I believe 18, was it 18 or 21? I don't see no youth out here in these meetings. And I know we got grandkids, we got nephews and nieces and people around here, high school and college graduates and everything. I want to see some youth out here. You know, that really will help. So if you encourage anybody to come and just see what's going on in their city, you know, that'll really help me on out a lot. But I appreciate the people that come and spoke on out and expressed their opinions. I'm just trying to do the best job that I can.
And transparency is first and foremost. Okay, now for my other things. Saturday, September 30th is gonna be our second ward meeting, 12 p.m. to 2. And then Wednesday, October the 4th, next week at 6 p.m., we'll be hosting our finance meeting. And I just want the second ward to know that is it October 23rd or 24th? It say ward's doing what for the 2023 fall cleanup? What day? What's the day to pick up?
It starts
It's just between the days, because it say the second or fourth ward.
23, 24. We will have crews in both wards.
So get them big items ready, the mattresses, all that old stuff y'all no longer want. Let's get it out on the curb. Let's continue to ensure that we are building a better Harvey. Everything is gonna happen if we keep standing on the front lines and fighting. So I appreciate you all. Give it up for yourselves. Give yourselves a round of applause this evening for being heroes and sheroes. Thank you. All right. And I wanted to say, Mr. Irvin and Ryan, thank you. You all collected over 400 plus signatures for that detention basin. And it's a major salute. Everybody in this crowd, y'all know what's going on. So I appreciate you all. Thank you. All right.
Yes, so during this past storm we had, I got a lot of calls about housing.
How would you like if it was in your ward, the first ward, if it was in the third ward, if it was in the fifth ward, if it was in the sixth ward? How would y'all like that? You know, I think it's very not thoughtful, because you guys didn't even think this through. It wasn't thought through, and again, the people didn't know. You did great. Remember, we are the ones that elect y'all. So if we have no say, why should y'all have all the say? It shouldn't even be that way. I mean, and I'm not just talking to you because I know we kind of got our eyes, but it's on everybody. Everybody. Dominique, come on now, really? Why would you do that to these people?
20 seconds.
Your name around the world rings bells in Harvey. Why would you want to take that from people? Tyrone, why would you want to take it from somebody?
Tell him, girl. Tell him.
Why? What is it? Y'all got backdoor deals or something that y'all gonna gain something from this?
3 minutes.
Something's going on.
Time is up, thank you.
And trust and believe, I'm gonna find out what it is.
Next on the agenda is Bill King Jr.
You won't get a sermon today. Start my time. Somebody said something, I'm gonna take the time back. This thing's been happening. First of all, I want to tell everybody here today that I'm glad to be here, and I want you to know that I'm proud to be a citizen of Harvey. I'm proud of my mayor, I'm proud of all the city council people and everything, but we have to work together and care about this town. We have to be the kind of people that when we were running for office, we're doing what we said we were going to do when we got in office. So let me look at these key points here. These key points I have is on Halsey Street, and Mayor, like I said, we have words, and I have words, but it wasn't meant for you, but it was meant for the city as a whole. It was not meant for anybody, so I regret anything anybody had in your feelings, but my feelings are this. My heart is in Harvey. When I ran for office, my heart was in Harvey. But I am ashamed of what I see right now. Now, what I'm saying, prostitution on Halsey Street, between 70 Boulevard and 144th Street. Every doggone day, Sunday morning, I'm going to church, got my collar on, and got my cross here, and as a prostitute walks up on me and asks me I need some business. This has got to go. We can't have that. I want the police out there on a Sunday morning and doing something. I want all these aldermen, all of us all to get out there and do something and see what's going on. 146 in Saman, there's a house operating where prostitutes are coming out. On Halsey Street, there was a African American, a Spanish, and somebody else out there prostituting on Halsey Street. Cayman Boulevard and Halsey, still, I spoke about it a while ago, still there's weeds growing, barbed wire, you call it razor wire, what do you want to call it? It's sitting out there on Halsey Street and Cayman Boulevard and that block over there that I talked about a while ago, and even in the community with the captains, It's still there. The fence is still up there. No one's done anything about it. Good job on the fence thing that you did the other week. You cut it down nice. But here's my problem asking this question. While we were running for office, the field was cut. And I couldn't come down and cut it because I didn't have to. Then a few weeks after that thing was over, nobody cut it. And nobody cared. 2 blocks from my councilman's house, and it's 3 feet tall. In the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. How can that be? We can't take that. Yes, I apologize for being mean and everything, but I'm compassionate. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to run again. Because I don't see anything done at all. I don't care if you like it or not.
No reason to apologize.
20 seconds.
All storm drains need to be uncovered. There's people getting floods right now. The people, police need to gather with the Aldermen and stuff there. You, Mr. Chapman, and all the councilmen need to go in each of their areas and check out for all the stuff that's out there. Storm sewers, weeds, rats, garbage, dumping, everything, and take care of it. I don't need one time a year to get the stuff cleared up and picked up on a date for each ward. This is a 365-day city, and we need to operate it the way we need to operate it, and I'm tired and sick of the laziness. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Last name.
Thank you,
That's right.
Mr. Mayor.
That's right.
I'm here to represent the citizens of 146 in Des Plaines. Not anything about drains or nothing like that. I want to see if we can get a speed bump, because if y'all haven't noticed yet, 147 has become a race car expressway. And what they do, they cut down the
library from 2015 to 2021. I am here in regards to the retention pond and the whole process. Truth and honesty and all the information that you need to make a good decision on a project takes out a lot of the crazy things that happen. When you only tell a person half of what they need to know, how can they make a sound decision? And this project that's going on just got a couple of things that really bother me. We had people coming out here that were representing a metropolitan. We had people speak on the project, but there were questions that were never answered, and I asked them a couple times. So basically, the depth of the retention pond, how many cubic feet of water that the retention pond will hold, how many inches of rain would it take to fill the retention pond, how long would it take to drain the retention pond, is there going to be oxygen pumps in there to keep down algae, mold, mildew, disease, mosquitoes, how many months is the pond going to be empty, like when we go through dry periods in the summertime or in the fall and in the wintertime? Or is this just going to be a hole that's going to be there, that's going to be convenient when we have a flood and then that's over? Then they added on the thing about the flowers and all this natural stuff. We got wildflowers, wild bushes, wild trees, wild everything growing in the city of Harvey. Front yard, backyard, private lots, businesses. We don't need no more of that, okay? That's a warm fuzzy with no ending to it. Then we had another guy said that there was going to be fish in there. Nobody's going to be fishing and eating anything out of that water, okay? So, and then my other question is the transparency on it. If in the beginning you had said that this is the area that you were looking at, okay, and the people would know about it, and had the other areas put out there, all this confusion would be going on right now. We would have had selected a site, and this probably would be all done. But because you kept it a secret, and from the top to the bottom, okay, from the whole process, this is where we're at today. Okay, so people are being forced out of their homes when there are other alternatives. 149th in Turlington, Loomis, and 150th Street. There's a whole area there. You could put 2 retention ponds over there.
20 seconds.
Okay, so my thing is the decision that you make could affect you in the future. You don't want to take people's homes away from them when there are other alternatives. For those involved in politics planning to run again, you might want to think about what you're doing, okay?
There you go.
Right.
All right.
Next is Chantel Hooks.
but certainly the impact on entire families and generations that have poured into this community for 50+ years and decades deserve to reap the many benefits as we push to build a better Harvey. But that said, I'm hopeful that we could be open-minded to looking at an alternative site location as proposed by Metropolitan Water Reclamation District to have a deeper research on the completion of this. We do realize that there are 4 phases to this project, and so I'm not as certain whomever else's home could possibly be taken away. With that said, our population sits at approximately 22,000. However, only 209 structures that have yet to be identified will reap that better benefit of non-flooding. I ask you, leadership, are we really making the right decision? Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you for that, first of all. Again, I was asking for that because I'm not sure, from the looks of this agreement where the jurisdiction of the EDC would take mandate here, as this is not an economic opportunity for the city. So I would question this jurisdiction for you to actually request it go to the EDC. There may be a more benefiting committee for that. However, I don't think the EDC has jurisdiction on this matter. Secondly, you are aware that
Has to do with developing the land.
Water Reclamation District did respond to many questions that you kind of addressed in there as far as alternative sites. You did get that email as well?
It was addressed to me.
Okay. So they actually spoke to a lot of these issues and addressed those issues. I want to make that clear that all of the issues that needed to be addressed were addressed by them and gave responses to them. Whether or not we like the response, that is the response, especially as we look at alternate sites. They did do that. However, the site that was chosen was the best site to have the greatest impact for all the other residents that are dealing with flood.
Alderman Randall, I'm gonna take you back to Thursday, September the 7th, when we hosted this meeting here. Before we so abruptly ended the meeting, Carrie Steele stood up and said, our board president for Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, that fairness and equity is at the first and the foremost for the city. It is based on what the city of Harvey would like to do, that MWRB is conceding in that way, moving forward in that direction. So if we propose the other said site locations, it could very well take a pivot. They're being advised strongly by us. We submitted a application to Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. And I do understand the imperativeness of it, right? We haven't seen $9.8 million in the city of Harvey in quite a while. But I also like you all to think about Stone Park, Dalton, and Robbins, where they've completed the same project and no one has to be uprooted from their home. Miss Carlita. But the Pool Tingle family, Ms. Dorothy and several others are here. And these past 80 days have been live. You know, I didn't know anything about the project until Saturday, July 15th. And I think when we talk about open governance and participatory everything, right? Because that's what we were elected to do. We could have allowed our residents more insight on this project in its entirety. We could have made them feel more comfortable about the project. It's almost at this point a mandate. So if somebody came to you and said, hey, you have a short of 18 months before you leave, you too would be stunned. I don't think many had to say on Thursday, July 6th that I wasn't aware of. I wasn't aware of that meeting. But 9 days later, they had another meeting. And then there was a meeting before the public meeting. And so when I came to the public meeting is when I first learned about it. I too sat in this crowd and I didn't have much to say because I was almost flabbergasted that it was even going on. To refer it to the Economic Development Committee is needed because economic development has everything to do with capital improvement for our city. As we need to discuss, this isn't a legislative matter. There's no ordinance that supports this particular matter, as this is a fairly new project, although it's been in discussion since 2018. So 5 years ago, even if we didn't know we had a funding or where we were or where things were, if we gave a timeline on what things look like, I think those approaches allow people, you're not gonna walk in a dark room unless you kind of know what's in there. This is the same thing. We're talking about people's livelihood. The median income average here is $29,400. So when you think about that, you pick up our same 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, and you set it in South Holland, it's a night and day difference. can our people really afford the said prices? I'm not sure that they can. I'm not thinking about what's gonna happen next July. I'm thinking about what happens 5 years from now, when these homeowners, these tenants, are kind of left to figure these things out. I don't know if 3 meetings at 90 minutes apiece were enough to answer every single question. And thankfully, MWRD has been as gracious as they have. From the moment that I sent the first initial correspondence. So I'm very thankful for that. But in a matter such as this, again, it's not about us as alderpersons or making a negative connotation on behalf of anyone's leadership. I'm just asking you all to dig in deep, again, altruism, the care and concern for the social welfare of others. Certainly, I think you said if we could send a man to the moon, certainly we can pivot the idea of where a proposed site location would be. So those are my reasons, and in fact, this is capital improvement. This has everything to do with EDC.
Right.
Thank you.
Sure.
Bravo. Bravo.
Thank you, Mayor, for allowing me to speak. Thank you everyone for coming.
Very good, Colby.
I have some genuine concerns. I live in the 4th ward, even though it's 2nd ward, I'm still concerned with everybody generally in the city of Harvey, because I have people over there and they have people in my ward. It's just something, how much is this project? Is this like 9.4? 9.8 million? Okay, so this is 9.8 million to save 209 homes from flooding. Correct?
It's 9.8 million. The direct impact will be 209. And the indirect impact has not been ascertained yet at this time.
Okay, so out of these 209 homes, where's the location? And are these residential properties, or are you going down the block, or vacant properties all included?
So we've already had 4 meetings on this issue, at which you were at several of them, Aldermen, and you got up and actually spoke regarding that.
Yeah, but I didn't get a chance to finish
And
speaking.
you sat in those meetings, and you have, if you have read your packet and followed this particular issue, you should have answers to those questions.
Okay. Well, one thing I don't have an answer to, was there a judgment determining this property as eminent domain on 153rd and Myrtle? Has there been a judgment determining this particular area is considered eminent domain? Has there been a report system?
That's an MWRD issue. It's an MWRD project. MWRD is handling the issues of eminent domain if it should come to that. It's not at that particular point because the entity is trying to work with the existing homeowners and tenants to try to negotiate a good and satisfactory reasonable deal with them.
Okay, that'll be it, sir.
Any other questions? So, it doesn't seem to me, but it's up to the council, it doesn't seem to me that this is an issue that needs to go EDC. We have had some questions that have been answered, I think almost 30. Maybe I'm a little bit over in amount, but it's somewhere close to questions that have been asked of MWRD. Unless I haven't heard any additional questions that would be of any significance to the decision-making portion of this particular project. Also, excuse me, MWRD has provided that information. And while I am not acting as an engineer, the engineers have already indicated both verbally and in writing that the best location was the location that between Myrtle and Lucas. So we already have the answer to that question. And why would we say, okay, we'll put it somewhere else when the engineers are saying to put it where it's located? Then we spend $9.8 million and say, for instance, it doesn't work.
He wants the money.
Then what do we
He
do?
wants the money.
I think it's time, personally, I think it's time to vote, but that's up to the council. So we have the motion on the floor to send it to the economic development
Alderman Key,
Yes.
Alderman Randall,
No.
Alderwoman Drewinski,
No.
Alderwoman Smith,
No.
Alderwoman Chapman.
Yes.
Motion
Motion
fails.
failed.
And now the chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by the fifth, second by the third. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Alderwoman Drewinski,
Yes.
Alderwoman Chapman. Alderwoman Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Key,
No.
Alderman Randall,
Aye.
Alderman Rogers.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Wow.
That is resolution 3059. 3059.
You heard it here, folks.
Thank you. The next, item, ABC, the resolution authorizing
It's not
the
over yet.
settlement agreement. Does that one have to go to, that one will go to, executive session as well. Is that the bond? Oh, okay, yes, the bond. A resolution authorizing and approving the settlement agreement and conditional order of dismissal pursuant to.
And I had shared a quick video as well, reminding people to. Hey everybody, bonsoir. This is Ryan. If you can come tonight, it's supposed to be. Let's see. There's a finance committee at City Hall in Harvey at 6. So it should be starting now, but no, they haven't opened things up yet. And then regular city council meeting at 7, and they're supposed to take a vote on the retention pond, which is not the final say whether it actually is going to happen or not, but we would like as many people as possible to defend these residents' rights to keep their houses. This project does not need to be located anywhere where people would have to actually leave their homes. Harvey is severely depopulated. So if you can show up, that would be great. Hope to see you all tonight. Bye-bye.